So I am 1 hour into LA Comic Con, and I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm just not impressed. It is definitely an autograph photo op sort of con, and I really, really don't like those. My friend paid way too much money, and I won't say how much, so that we could get a photo with the Back to the Future cast, and so that she could get autographs. And she has been in line for like 2 hours to get Christopher Lloyd's autograph. And then as soon as we do the photo op at 3, she has to get back in line to get Michael J. Fox's autograph. Now, I get that both of these people don't do a lot of these sort of conventions. And Christopher Lloyd's getting kind of older, and Michael J. Fox does have Parkinson's, but I just think it is ridiculous to pay, a month's wages to get autographs and pictures, and then to have to buy the ticket to the convention. I mean, she's not going to get to see hardly any of the convention, and that's just my own thing. For me, I don't particularly like the setup of the LA Convention Center. It has separate halls that are connected by like a concourse in the center, which is where I'm at right now. And so I don't like having to leave one hall, go through a walkway to get to another hall. So the hall I'm out in front of right now is the gaming and artist alley and sort of kind of the anime type stuff, but it's mostly gaming, and they've got the Milk tournament, women's tournament for Fortnite is going to go on in there, and they've got a bunch of like computers set up, and it looks pretty cool. I'm only here today on Friday, so I'm not going to get to see it. So I can't, be like, oh my God, it was amazing. I hope it is. But I don't like the setup of the hall. This is my first convention back after I had to have some surgery that kept me essentially in bed for 3 months, and my stamina is just absolute garbage. I can't stand very long. I can't walk very long. And my friends are all like fast movers, and I am like, go on without me. Save yourself. Because I just can't. I do have a little pop-up stool with me that a friend lent me, which is absolutely wonderful, because when I was standing in line with Kim, I popped that out and sat down. I was like, but once she was going to be moving or closer, I kind of didn't want to like follow her up there for her to get the autograph. I feel like that's a little weird. So I left her and her friend in line, and I went off and I explored a little bit. There's no ADA. I asked somebody about it, and they're like, oh, I don't know where ADA is. And when I went and got my badge, I was like, hey, before we got our badges, we're coming around the way that all the signs were like, come this way for your badge. And we get up and to these stairs, and I'm just like, oh my God, stairs, my nemesis, because like it takes me a super long time to get upstairs right now, because I am just no energy. And I asked them, I was like, hey, is there like an ADA way up these stairs? And they're like, no, the only ADA way would be to walk all the way over to this other hall and go in that way and walk over. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So I lifted up these stairs. By the time I got up to the top, I was panting. And so when we went through, like, they have metal detectors, and we went through metal detectors, like, I couldn't even say anything to the people. Like, I went through and I popped because I have a camera and all these tripods, and I was like, and I'm like taking like stuff off, and I'm just like, whatever, like, I figured. So I took but I was just like so annoyed. I'm like, how do you not have ADA at a convention that is easily 50,000 people and that is in the LA Convention Center? Like, that seems ridiculous to me. I mean, I've seen plenty of people in wheelchairs, and I should probably stop one of them and ask them if they have an ADA badge, and if so, where did they get it? Because I think it'd be stupid for me to have to walk like down to industry, wherever the industry reg is, to get that, especially if you're going to be having regular registration come through a different door. Like, you should have that together. But that's sort of my gripe. I will admit I'm probably a tad on the cranky side. Had to get up ass early. There was a bunch of confusion, a bunch of drama before we even got here. So I think I'm really in need of a Dr. Pepper, and of course all they have is Coke. Dr. Pepper is like one of the number one selling. It's like one of the top selling sodas. And nobody ever carries it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I did get some cool stuff. Well, get some cool stuff. As of the time of this recording, I've got one cool thing, which is I got a wanted poster of myself. Because I thought it was cool, and so I got it. And it was like $10, and I was like, hey, that's an original artwork for $10, and it's of me? Hell yeah. And I'll have a link for that in the description, so you guys can give her a shout out. She was super awesome. After we got payment settled, because that was a hassle, I just feel like this day is like cursed. Like, nothing's going right. She asked if I could Zelle her, and then my Zelle wouldn't read her QR code, so we had to switch over to Venmo, and my Venmo QR initially wasn't reading, and eventually it did, but oh my god, it's just like, ah! And I saw something really strange, and I want your opinion of it. If I saw a guy in Artist Alley, and he's going down the line, he keeps asking everybody, do you have any original artwork? And I was like, that's really odd, because most people don't sell original artwork, they sell prints. And like, what is he gonna do? Like, buy their original artwork and then like murder them so that they could get get it to go up in value or something? Like, I don't know. It's really, really odd. Wild Bills was here, and I kind of wish I brought my cup because I really want a soda, but at the same time, I don't want to. It just would have been one more extra thing, and they're all out of the lids for my particular cup anyway, and I don't want to spend $40 to buy a new tankard anyway, so worry about it some other time. But, so far, so good. I mean, nothing other than the ADA thing and having to walk up a giant flight of stairs that I was in no way capable of doing. This has really not been that bad. It's by no means great, but it's not bad. I need somebody to explain anime costumes to me. I did realize, talking to Kim and Tiffany while we were standing in line, that I do know a lot and I can identify quite a bit, but still, I see costumes and I'm like, what the fuck? Where does that come from? Should I know this anime? Is this a one-off? Is this going to be one of those animes that is like a flash in the pan? Like some animes, they stick around forever, right? Like One Piece, Naruto. Oh my god, I feel like those have been around forever. But then I see others that are just like, that was like 10 years ago, right? That was that one con? Yeah. Hi, so I am at the cafeteria at the south side of the convention center. I managed to find myself Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper makes everything better. I have a good vantage point of a bunch of people in like the lobby area. This place is set up really weird. So if you come over from the west side, you go down this long corridor, and when you get over here, there's like a level with a cafeteria and some food stalls and stuff like that. And if you head around, it puts you like in the convention hall. But if you go down the stairs, there's like a lobby level that takes you then back up the stairs or down some more stairs. Or like this place is just all sorts of weird levels, and it makes it hard to navigate and for me to tell people where I'm at. Or at least I have found it difficult to tell people where I'm at. I am out of energy, so I am camped out here until the rest of my party finishes. But I found my favorite tea seller, Dragon Marsh, so I was able to get some teas, which I really love. I finally found the merch booth and was able to get the pins that I wanted. There was a merch booth on the west side, but they didn't have the pins, they only had the shirts for some reason. But the main merch booth in the back of the big hall, that had my pins. So that was really great, and I was super happy to get those. Not that I really thought, I mean, I'm only here one day, so I didn't really think those pins were going to sell out today. There's been some really great cosplay going on. It's quite nice to kind of watch people. I was not able to get some people like up close because like there was this one woman who's dressed up as a cloud, which I thought was just stellar, and my friend pointed out that she's got anime hair, so she's probably an anime cloud, and I was like, yeah, that's probably true. And I saw Hot Mario and Hot Luigi, but I missed that. Like they were too far away for me to get at, and the cloud was nearby, but I got distracted and she left before I had a chance to like stop her because I didn't want to interrupt her meal. And I just don't have the energy to sort of wander around down on the little lobby level, maybe. I don't know what it is. I just don't have the energy to sort of wander around and take a bunch of video and stuff like that. But there is some really excellent cosplay. And because the Back to the Future cast was here, everybody and their brother is dressed as Marty McFly, Jennifer, or Doc. Mostly Marty and Doc. Mostly Marty, then Doc, then Jennifer. So I swear to God, if you were to make a drinking game out of every time you saw a Marty or a Doc, you'd die. You would just straight die of alcohol poisoning. There's so many here. I mean, even at the height of Harley, I don't think I ever saw as many Harley Quinns as I'm seeing Docs and Martys. And that was it that holographic hat? That's all over the place. It's crazy. But I've talked to a couple of people, and I mean, I've had a fairly good time here. I have problems with the way this convention is run, and I have problems with this convention center. So I'm not super in love with the LA Convention Center. The leveling system, the fact that they've got two different buildings, I find it makes going to a convention here unnecessarily difficult. So my number one pet peeve about this convention has really been the fact that I can't find ADA, and nobody seems to know where it's at either. Um, I asked another ADA person, and they were just like, "Man, ADA was." Um, the convention center itself is set up like legally. I'm not going to say that it's not accessible or anything like that. Um, Most everywhere that I've gone has had escalators and elevators. Um, it's only really when I came in, they had it. They had the entrance for regular badge pickup in a place that you can't get to if you're in a wheelchair or if you can't walk up a flight of stairs, which I think is just, I think it's asking for an ADA lawsuit. Um, I'm certainly not going to do it, but you know, I can see where somebody would. I I think it is. I think it's just insane to make people walk up a flight of stairs and not have an elevator handy, you know? And another sort of, I'm not sure if this is a gripe or what, or if I just think it's something I noted, and I don't really know what my opinion is on it. But when my friends and I were walking up here to get our badges, two of my friends are pros, professionals, so they go to industry. And then my friend Kim, her friend Tiffany, and myself, we are all just general attendees. So we go to the general attendees badge area. And so we went in that direction, and my industry friends went in their direction. And why not have all of that in one spot? Why automatically make people who are attendees go all the way to the West Hall when industry comes to the South Hall? That seems really odd to me. I don't. I'm sure there's some logic to it. I don't run this convention. I don't know what their logic, policy, whatever is. They could be like, oh, it is an autograph con and a photo con, so that could be why they have industry in a separate area. You got me. But I'm used to places having like all their registration in one area, or mostly in one area. Um, you know, I'm going to say Comic-Con's the exception because it is the exception to every rule about putting on a convention because it is huge. But most of the small cons I go to, their registrations are in the same spot. Most of the larger technical, God, that smells good, technical conventions, those typically have everything in one spot. So I don't understand. Like, it just seems to me logical to put everything in one spot so that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to care. Um, and if you put it all in one spot, you can make sure that one spot is ADA accessible. Um, I really wish I could show you this lobby level, but there's a big banner in the way, and so I can only see like a stripe at the bottom. Um, but what I really like about having a big lobby level, and this also has to do with the size of this con, this being a con that is not super huge, 50, I think somebody said 50,000 people or so, they can do this with this little lobby level. Um, it's a great place for photographers to set up their cameras and their lighting rigs and everything, and have the cosplayers just sort of come to them and they can take pictures. There's something kind of similar at WonderCon. Excuse me. Out by the fountain, they do the group shots, um, like the whole Star Wars people come and stuff like that. And in and around that courtyard and that walkway, photographers will set up, grab a corner and set up and take pictures of cosplayers and stuff like that, which is really cool. Um, and I like that. I like the fact that cosplayers can just go to an area and like find a bunch of people taking pictures and just get their pictures taken by a bunch of people that want to take their pictures. Um, and it certainly like helps with traffic control in the aisles. I forgot to film an outro while I was there. Um, it's one of my friends said that it's soulless, and I think that is the best way to describe it. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just soulless.